walk down that tunnel and take to the field behind Anthony Taylor. A gripping looking 5th round tie with a place at the quarterfinals at stake, and alongside me is Matt Holland.
Looking forward to it. Two teams will have a real ambition to win this trophy. Newcastle have already got the League Cup final to look forward to this month against Liverpool. Brighton have been in the semi-final twice in the last 6 years, not got to the final. They'll be desperate to do so. Great opportunity for both of these sides to win this competition.
Brighton reached 2 quarter-finals in 112 years. They reached 3 in the last 7 years. And as Matt was just saying, they were beaten by Manchester City and Manchester United in the last 4 stage. Players shake the hand of the opponent. Brighton have already won here once this season. Danny Welbeck got the only goal of the game. Newcastle have only beaten them twice in the last 15 meetings. Would the teams be weakened, be changed? Both teams go very strong. Big Newcastle team news: Alexander Isak is fit after his groin strain, returns among 6 changes from the Premier League defeat at Liverpool. Joe Linton plays his first game since his knee injury on February the 1st. Dubravka's back in goal, Trippier twice as semi-finalist, teenager Miley, who scored in the 3rd round, and Harvey Barnes all come into that side. Brighton manager Fabian Hürzeler hinted on Friday that he would rest players who played a lot of minutes recently. That was an absolute curveball. The only change from Tuesday's 4th win on the spin, 2-1 home to Bournemouth. The return of Jack Hinch, very capable for Diego Gomez in midfield. Captain Lewis Dunk misses a 4th game in a row with a rib injury. They've actually looked very strong defensively. João Pedro has 6 goals in 7 FA Cup ties, and they planned, I can tell you, to face Isak all along. They thought he would play, they were almost sure. And they're right, he is in that side. Fairly strong looking bench as well, with Welbeck there, Solly March, and Gomez, who was excellent with his first start against Bournemouth in the week. Really intriguing one, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. There's so many top players on display. Matoma and Minte have been excellent for Brighton in the wide positions, Ruta and Pedro up front. Danger to any defence, and Newcastle to have Alexander Isak back. Eddie Howe will be absolutely delighted. 21 goals already this season, 19 of those in the Premier League. He's got 2 players offering him good ammunition as well, with Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon either side of him. He'll also be pleased to have Joe Linton back in his midfield as well. First game for a month after injury, but he brings that physicality to the midfield.
Eddie Howe, young manager at 47. He was already pushing for a first team place at Bournemouth when Fabian Hürzeler was born. The Brighton manager turned 32 this week, the youngest ever in the Premier League. And he has recovered from a 7-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest that could have cost him his job at another club. But Tony Bloom, the chairman of Brighton, and the CEO Paul Barber, well, they're made of different stuff. Brighton recording record profits of 73.9 million this week. Their turnover has gone up to 222.4 million. That's 762% up on their last season in the Championship. This is a go-ahead club. This is a team on the up, Brighton Hove Albion. But will it be Newcastle who prevail today? Referee is Anthony Taylor. He was in charge of that stormy game here that saw John Duran sent off when Villa visited. Jason Tindall, the assistant manager at Newcastle, was dismissed that day as well. They're nearly ready to go. So at the whistle of Anthony Taylor, off we go. Brighton Hove Albion in the change strip, the all-yellow kicking from left to right in this first half, on the back of victories away at Norwich and at home to Chelsea in this competition already this season. Newcastle United won here against Bromley and away against Birmingham when they had to work fairly hard for that. And you think they'll have to work hard here. 2 very strong sides. And Karim Matoma, his first run at Kieran Trippier, who started on the right-hand side with Livramento on the left. There was a pre-match debate about which side they would play. Low cross in the middle, cleared away by Dan Burn, who had the 4 years as a Brighton Hove Albion player, was very popular there amongst the fans. And here's Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who's having a terrific season for. Back to Van Hecke. He missed Lewis Dunk at the back, actually.
No, they haven't. Adam Webster alongside him, who's got the armband today, has been excellent in Lewis Dunk's absence. I think this is a really important game for both of these sides. A great opportunity for them to win silverware. And the importance of the game actually highlighted by the lineups that the two managers have selected. Both gone strong.
Voice of Matt Holland, who was coming to the end of his career when Eddie Howe was born.
Do you know what? Eddie Howe made his debut in a Bournemouth team that I captained.
Get away.
Believe it or not.
What a one-club man he was as a player, wasn't he? He was sensitive. I know he had a little loan spell here and there, Portsmouth and Swindon, but player, manager, odd job man almost at Bournemouth for a long while. That came off Burn. Here's João Pedro. And up wide then towards Nkubi Minte, who's never started a game at Newcastle. He never played a first-team game while he was here, but they managed to make a £29.2 million profit on him. Here's Tonali.
Yeah, I think you made a good point, actually, because we weren't quite sure who was going to play right back and left back for Newcastle. It is Trippier on the right, Livramento on the left. I mean, in possession of the ball, Livramento will step into midfield. And also he's got the pace, hasn't he, I think, to deal with Minte down that right-hand side of Brighton.
Newcastle have it. It's a good run by Barnes, who has Gordon out wide of him. Has it now. Miley, it's a fine run into the penalty area by Harvey Barnes. Vaneka went to ground, chip to the far post. Isak blocked in there by Webster. And the rebound is over, and Newcastle should be ahead inside 3 minutes.
Well, we're all shocked that Isak hasn't scored. It's a fabulous run from Harvey Barnes, initially to feed Anthony Gordon, then continued his run into the box. Van Hecke goes to ground. It makes it easy for Harvey Barnes to lift that to the far post. The first one's a difficult chance, the header, to try and generate the power required. It's blocked on the line, but the second one, when it lands at his feet, you just expect him to score.
Never scored against Brighton Hove Albion, Alexander Isak. Missed that Liverpool game with the groin injury. Had 1 minute of the competition so far against Birmingham City away. And it's going to be a tough afternoon, you think, for those Brighton defenders. Here's Van Hecke. Drills the ball forward. Looking again for the run of Minte. There with him is Livramento, such a capable young defender. Now an England international. More caps surely to come for him.
Yeah, I said he's got the pace to deal with Minte down that side. Recognised that ball over the top and dealt with it well.
Just in case you didn't know, we also have semi-automatic offside facilities here today, which are supposedly going to speed up offside decisions by approximately 30 seconds, but there could yet be human intervention if needs be. If he gives a free kick here for the challenge on Tonali.
It was a late decision, wasn't it, from Anthony Taylor? He let play continue for a little while before eventually bringing it back. High boot from Jorginho, but he looked like he won the ball, didn't he? I think he's a little unlucky.
He won the ball.
I mean, the follow-through, he did catch Tonali, but initially it looked like Anthony Taylor was going to let play continue.
But I'm not too sure he could have withdrawn his foot from the follow-through, could he, there with the challenge? I mean, it wasn't like the goalkeeper yesterday, Millwall against Crystal Palace. That was awful. And it's going to be a free kick here to be taken by Kieran Trippier with that so reliable right foot. Dead ball specialist. Gordon's the man standing well offside. He'll come back on though if he times it right. There's a push in there, or a pull against Dan Burn. Back at his hometown club, Burn. Let's see, just tugging away there on Webster.
Van Hecke just ran into the back of Anthony Gordon as well.
Right, look for João Pedro. Expect Danny Welbeck to make an appearance as the game goes on. He leads the line better than João Pedro, would you agree?
Yeah, probably. I think there's good movement with the four that they've selected today. I think João Pedro and Jorginho are both capable of playing as 10s, really, dropping to midfield. I think Danny Welbeck is as well. There's really good movement and combination between those two.
Richard back to João Pedro, blocked off on the edge of the penalty. It's not a penalty. and steers it away, ran into his man. João Pedro has been criticised for looking for spot kicks like that. Got one in the week against Bournemouth when the goalkeeper brought him down, but he was actually shoved from behind on that one.
Up here!
I think they're having a look at it. Oh, he leaves the leg there, Dan Burn, but João Pedro runs into him.
Has been superficially checked by the VAR, Andy Madley, his assistant Graham Scott, his assistant James Bell, and his assistant Adam Nunn. Lots of people involved in decision making these days.
I wasn't happy with the decision either, Fabian Hertzler. Problem for Kieran Trippier as well. Fast start on both sides. Brighton out the blocks quickly. Newcastle had the opportunity with Alexander Isak. A good open start to the game.
All screwed up wide there by Webster. Trippier will take the throw. Only 3 league starts for him this season. The last one was back in October. Played against Bromley the whole game in the 3rd round. And work to do here to keep that in. The assistant referee was nowhere up with the play, so he couldn't signal a corner kick.
Isak will chase everything over the top into the channels. Under no pressure, Webster makes the mistake.
It's a corner, isn't it? The referee's given it. Clearly a corner. Trippier with a corner kick now. Swings it away. And out in the end by Webster. Stupinian closes on Trippier. Drills the clearance away. Jorginho, lovely touch. Belieber, one of the stars in the making in the Premier League. Belieber, here's Minty. Good pace about him. Jorginho, Lamptey's arriving on the right-hand side. Had to stretch a little bit for it. Back into the middle. And Jorginho was arriving. Couldn't get anything on it. Lovely sweeping move by Brighton.
Really fast break, wasn't it? Good interchange of positions and pace in that attack.
Really open start to the game. Miley plays out wide. And Harvey Barnes arrives. 2 in the middle. Stabbed up there by Webster again. Just turned 30, Adam Webster. I would suggest he's probably playing the best football of his Brighton career just at the moment. Jean-Louis Miley, the only player in this Newcastle starting lineup to have started all 3 FA Cup ties this season. Barnes around the corner, expected Isak to continue the run.
Yeah. Brighton's wide players, Mitoma and Minte, terrific going forward, but they do the work defensively as well. As Newcastle were breaking them, both of them were back in position, almost making it a back 6. This is the break though. Look at the yellow shirts bombing forward. Plenty of space for Lamptey out wide. Finds a cross, but doesn't find a Brighton name on the end of it.
7th start in a row for Tariq Lamptey. Seems to have overcome his hamstring and knee problems that have blighted him in the last couple of seasons. Good patch of form. Here's Gordon. Looks for the return. Anthony Gordon. One more goal will give him double figures this season. Here's Mitoma. 2 more will give him double figures. Jorginho. Into a tight area there, and it's cleared away.
And Mitoma's drifted infield already, getting involved in the game.
Ian Sparkle Bruto this season, £40 million. Not a familiar amount for Brighton to play on a transfer. And there were eyebrows raised when he moved from Leeds, especially with his early season form. As Matt was saying, the manager said he'd take time to perhaps adjust, and he has done. He's had a very good spell away by Verbruggen. His kicking can be a little bit hit and miss. Having hit and miss about Alexander Isak, 16 goals in his last 17. Miley to Fabian Schär, very much a regular in this side. He's only missed 4 of their last 30 games. Livramento's gone on, wants it. Gordon gets it away. But he's gone a little bit too early. He's signing from Southampton offside.
That's frustrating. You can see right across the line. And he was just a fraction off. They do play a really high line though, Brighton, don't they? And they do try and step up and try and catch the opponent's offside. Fabian Hertzler said that they need to play with intensity and match Newcastle, and they've started the game brightly. It's a long way, isn't it? Brighton to Newcastle, well, that's a 700-mile round trip. I saw that the club are buying a free pie and a drink for the supporters that have made the journey.
Yes, I tried to enlist ourselves, our supporters, for that offer, but didn't come off for us. Liverpool will take the throw-in. England debut in November against Ireland. Mummy's Scottish, dad's family come from Portugal. So Linton holds it up. A big booming release. Away to Kieran Trippier. Every transfer window arrives with rumours that Trippier will be on his way. Might be in the summer when his contract's up. Important for them to have Joe Linton back, isn't it?
Huge. I think it's probably, on current form, maybe their best midfield at the moment. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bruno Guimaraes, but the last month or so he's just dropped off his high standards and maybe needed the rest, actually, that he gets today.
João Pedro, flicked by Minty, looking for Jorginho. You will see him wander, signing from Leeds. 1 minute he's up top, then he's in behind João Pedro, then he'll come out wide. Here's Van Hecker. Hinshelwood, what a versatile young player he is. Talk about full England caps for the under-21. See him at left back, right back, heart of midfield, there he is. Comes from a big footballing family. Believer, away to Lewis Dunk, to Terry Lamptey. And here's Livramento again. Minty, he's learnt that side of the game, I think, Matt, to trap out.
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Mitoma and Minte going forward, but they do the work defensively as well. They do get themselves back into a shape without the ball. Mitoma's coming very centrally, leaving that space for Estupinian down that left-hand side to try and attack.
In the two recent games against Chelsea, they look by far the fitter side. Here's Van Hecker. Trying to pick a pass through to João Pedro. Now here's Jorginho. Too much weight on that. Believer was up, but on one side and the other side was Estupinian arriving.
It was a clever guided header to him from Hinshelwood.
Gordon. Penalty against Bromley in the third round when he came off the bench for the second half. Here's Burt. What's given away? Karim Mitoma with a chance here for Brighton. Pulls it back for the shot by Believer. It's blocked. It's a good opportunity for Brighton from the mistake, and Newcastle will counter from it. Now Gordon. Isak's up through the middle. Stupinian coming back top of the picture. Isak will have a go at goal.
Two teams who are really good in transition on the counter-attack. A bit over-ambitious from Alexander Isak, and at the other end, great first touch from Mitoma. I said how his close control is so impressive. He sets up Believer nicely.
He was asked in the press conference, Fabian Hertzler, what they need to watch out for. And he said Newcastle are very dangerous in transition. They're very dangerous with and without the ball. They're very dangerous at set pieces. In other words, they have to watch every second of every minute of the game. Hinshelwood. Sees the pass on to Pervis Estupinian. He's not long back from a month out with a muscle strain.
Mitoma's position is causing Newcastle a few problems. They're not quite sure who should be marking him. Kieran Trippier, he's wondering whether he should be going tight to him. He's asking Harvey Barnes to track Estupinian. But they're not quite sure who to pick him up. And he's finding quite a bit of space, actually.
Lamptey for Brighton. 7 wins in their last 9 games. Really good form and chasing a European position. Could well go down to 8th, maybe even 9th this season. Here's Lamptey. Minte's there on the edge of the penalty. Mitoma's come this side now. What's the best of passes to Jorginho, and now Tino Livramento will find his goalkeeper who took the touch. And look at the fullback.
He probably didn't have time to have a touch. Being put under pressure very quickly. Had to try and deal with it.
Been a run of 13 games in a series of 14 for Newcastle. And then lost his place after the drubbing at Manchester City. Livramento heads away. Jorginho.
There's been a bit of focus on Nick Pope in goal, hasn't there, for Newcastle? It'll be a big selection dilemma, actually, I think, for Eddie Howe when it comes to the League Cup final in a couple of weeks against Liverpool. Who he goes with in goal.
Here's Webster. Estupinian rather rushed the pass. Eddie Howe was asked beforehand whether or not Gibraltar was in because it's a cup tie, a cup rotation, or because of Pope's form, and he said a bit of both. We need to defend better, was his exact quote on that. That will be music to the ears of Nick Pope. He was on the bench. Now here's Webster. Hinshelwood is there. So many connections in football go all the way back to his great-granddad, Wally, who was at Bristol City. And ball against Joe Linton. Third game for Anthony Taylor this season, 106 yellows. Not pulled out a direct red card yet, sent 2 off for 2 yellows. Minty, there's Mitoma, Pedro. Estupinian arrived on the far side, a little set-up ball for Hinshelwood with the drive. Belieber didn't get a shout that Joe Linton was the man on. Gordon, fouled by Lamptey. Buffeted by him.
That was clever by Anthony Gordon, just to get his body in between the ball and Lamptey, win the free kick for his side. Now, I think Brighton have probably started the better of the two sides this opening 20 minutes. They look the more composed in possession. Newcastle's been a bit frantic.
Here's Harvey Barnes. There's this level of expectancy at St James's Park in cup competitions. Trippier with the crossing, looking for Gordon. And away by Minty. That's the most unlike Brighton clearance. Better on the ball than that. Here's Lewis Miley. Missed the start of the season with a metatarsal injury. He has featured in 11 of their last 17 games now. Games from the bench. And Shet. Dan Burn. Combination that, Joe Linton and Livramento. Now here's Anthony Gordon. Isak's in the middle, plenty of yellow shirts back there to deal with it. Left to Joe Linton, looks to give it back to Isak. Livramento, it's a spare man in there. Oh, he's brought down. It's going to be a penalty, I think. That's a risky challenge. Livramento fouled in the penalty area. Minty asked the question, what was it for? And a penalty here to Newcastle United.
It's not the contribution he would have wanted on his return to St James's Park. I've just been praising he and Mitoma's defensive work and how they get themselves into good shape and get themselves back and do their defensive work. And then he goes for a ball that he can't win.
What a risky challenge that was. Bit naive, only 20 years of age. He will be distressed by that.
He'll be arguing that the contact wasn't loads, but there was enough, wasn't there?
And Alexander Isak will take it to look to add to his 21 goals already this season. Hasn't scored in the cup this campaign. And he's looking for his first goal against Brighton Hove Albion. There's a hush in the crowd. I sense the importance of this. Verbruggen has only saved one penalty in the 16 he's ever faced. Beaten 3 times from the spot this season. It's Isak. Scores. Newcastle 1, Brighton 0.
Emphatic from Alexander Isak. Had a big opportunity on 2 minutes. Failed to take it. Hit his shot over the bar. No mistake from 12 yards.
Against the run of play?
I think so. I think Brighton have probably started the better of the two sides. It's been a bit frantic from Newcastle, but they won't care, and neither will he. Alexander Isak drilling home. It's a wonderful penalty. Fades Bart Verbruggen, who's at full stretch, can't get there. There's too much pace on it for him. And he's on the score sheet again.
Lovely penalty. What another good season he's having. That's 57 goals in 98 games for the club as a return. Yes, it cost a lot of money, 60-odd million, when they brought him in from Real Sociedad. But he's been a star for Newcastle United in the 3 years, coming up 3 years since.
Well, fair to say, if they sold him in the summer, they'd make a hefty profit.
Well, how will Brighton respond? They're behind against Chelsea and turned it around in the last round. Belieber and Webster getting each other's way. Here's Hinshelwood to Belieber, quick to smother him. It's an unfair challenge by John Linton. Minty, good take. He's got Lamptey up behind him. And I think he would have used Lamptey normally, but he knew he's just given away a penalty. He's anxious to make amends. Here's Isak running free. Webster's there with him. Had a look who's coming up in support. Isak looks for the ball in then towards Barnes, and it's cleared away. Estupinian read the situation well. Now here's Tariq Lamptey. Played in that Chelsea game against his former side. And on this side he's up against another former Chelsea kid in Tino Livramento. Neither of them really given much of a chance at Chelsea. They only kept 4 clean sheets in 21 games now for Verbruggen. It's their Achilles heel. João Pedro, another intelligent run. Byrne is there with him. Corner ball. One of those great wholehearted, deserving players, Dan Byrne. Originally released when he was 11 years of age as a Newcastle player. Arm was down. There's ever a question of a penalty. His hero is, and always was, Alan Shearer. "25 minutes gone at St James's. Brighton looking to equalise. Stupinian with a corner kick. João Pedro was there. It's well defended. Isak's taken a tumble. João Pedro with the lob.
Been stung by that Alexander Isak penalty, but they just need to get back to how they started the game. That sharp movement, crisp passing.
Livramento. That's offside. Brighton's next 2 home games will be crucial in their battle to get a European place. They're up against Fulham and Aston Villa, who are both in the shake-up for Euro positions. Manchester City away is sandwiched between. It's Van Hecke. Only 24, Van Hecke. A lot more football to come for him. He's played up to today, their last 1,350 minutes. Again, lots of minutes. People thought he might be rested, given the manager's words on Friday. Here's Webster. And now Trippier. Tonali round the corner quickly. Inchwood trying to pick the pass to João Pedro. Jorginho closing down on Trippier, gets through a lot of work, but good ball away from the England full back to Isak, and now Joe Linton, and then towards Anthony Gordon. Linton's trying to get back at him, flooding yellow shirts back defensively. Gordon goes for goal.
The effort from Anthony Gordon was a pretty simple one, but the skill from Alexander Isak is just a joy to watch, isn't he? Full of confidence, scoring goals, but his all-round play is terrific. It's a fairly comfortable save for Bart Verbruggen.
Do they need to get into Europe to keep the likes of Gordon, although he's signed a new extended contract recently, but certainly to keep the likes of Isak, maybe Guimaraes?
It'd be more difficult to keep him without European football. And they're well placed to do so, aren't they? They're in good shape for European football next season. Already in one cup final with the League Cup, and then eyeing another one here with the FA Cup, so there's lots to play for Newcastle.
No free kick given against Baleba, who seemed to leave a Joe Linton to the ground. The days have gone where the runners-up in a competition, cup competition, get into a European place if the winners of the cup competition qualify for Europe elsewhere. Mitoma looks for João Pedro, was nutmegged Kieran Trippier, and Dan Burn clears it away only as far as Stupinian. Inchwood is there in support. Angles it away looking for Minty, who was hungrier there than Gordon. And Gordon had the pace to dispossess Lamptey and was fouled, and that'd be a yellow card, you would have thought.
Brilliant from Anthony Gordon. Too quick for Tariq Lamptey. Good body strength as well.
He felt that he was fouled by Gordon. Don't think he will. Gordon did have his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a foul. I think Anthony Gordon just that little bit too strong for him. I think the key for Brighton is Karim Mitoma. The way he's started the game, drifting in from that left-hand side and getting on the ball in the number 10 position. He's the one that they need to keep getting and keep feeding the ball in that position. He looks like the one that can open up the Newcastle defence.
They've won their last 9 fifth-round ties, Newcastle, going back to a defeat at Blackburn in 1993, looking to reach back-to-back quarter-finals. Comes away here to Isak, battling there against Jorginho. Inchwood managed to get something on it now. Webster, good pressure on him by Burn. Has he left a gap at the back now, Burn? Look, Tonali saw that danger and dropped back.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's talked about that. Tonali's off-the-ball work. He recognises and smells danger, doesn't he?
João Pedro into a Stupinian. There's Hinshelwood again, covers so much ground. Believer, here's Lamptey, gets goal side of Gordon. And now Yankuba Minty back to Lamptey. Burns back in defence now. In comes the cross away by Tonali. There you are.
Again, exactly that defensive midfield position. He gives licence to others in that midfield to get forward, but he reads the danger. He fills holes. There's a couple of Brighton players behind him, but he's in a good position to deal with the initial danger.
Pushing, shoving going on. Referee wants a word with Van Hecke and Joe Linton. Anthony Taylor will keep a close eye on that. Swings the corner kick. Webster was up.
In the stretch. Difficult one for him to control. A deep cross. He's at full stretch. Couldn't guide that towards the far corner.
Given the height they've got, they should do better at set pieces.
More skill from Isak. He's just full of confidence.
Georgina desperately trying to hold on to the situation there. Now here's Barnes, Isak, another chance here. Oh, what a blistering finish! Flag has gone up, it won't count.
What a hit. He's desperately trying to hold his run and stay on side. I think he has just erred the wrong side of the line. You see him, look, he's standing, he can see it. He knows when he wants the ball, but it comes fraction later than he actually wanted it. He was desperately trying to stay on side. Never in doubt was that when he got into that position that he was going to find the back of the net, but he was just a fraction off.
Looked a very good player last season. He seems to have risen a level now. There's a strut about him.
Yeah, he's grown, hasn't he? He's a player that is really believing in his ability, believing that he belongs at the very top tier.
Scored recently for Sweden, has only got a decent scoring record at international level. It's a throw to Brighton. Here's Van Hecker. The quarterfinals in 2023. Went out to Manchester United in the semis that year on penalties. Hinshelwood up in support, out by Byrne. Here's Karim Matoma. Estupinian's available on that left. João Pedro will try and find him. No place short.
He's probably not gotten the ball enough, has he, from a Brighton perspective, João Pedro.
I don't think he favours the centre forward role. I think he favours the supporting forward role, playing off a Welbeck, let's say, but Jorginho Rutter deserves his place in the team on form this season. João Pedro has been used wide on the left-hand side, but he's not going to displace Mitoma out there. He's coming narrow now, the Japanese international. Jorginho. Here's Lamptey. Cross collected.
He responded well to going behind. You just saw the numbers there. Possession in the last 10 minutes. And Brighton have had more of it since going behind. They're a team that are tough to beat, aren't they, Brighton? Haven't lost that many games this season. Used to losing many.
Webster caution for this. Went through Isak. In 32 games this season, they've only been beaten 7 times. This will be a really disappointing for them if they go out at this stage of the competition. There were a few groans when they drew Newcastle away. There's the semi-automatic offside thing.
Didn't really need it to tell us that he was offside on that occasion. He's saying it was close. It wasn't that close, I'm afraid.
Tonali. Now Yankuba Minty, Gordon is there with him. Doubling up on this near side. Joel Linton will be cautioned for the pullback.
He's got no choice, has he? Anthony Taylor. You see him shrug the shoulders.
Not too sure why a player will complain to the referee about a caution like that. It's a clear pull.
Yeah, trying to stop him on the counter.
Here's Van Hecker. Belieber, cutely done. Third player to excel in that role for Brighton after Bissouma went to Tottenham, Caicedo went to Chelsea. Belieber now rated in £100 million class. Here's João Pedro. Minty. João Pedro. Cross easily plucked out by Dubravka, hung a long time in the air, the cross. Important day for Martin Dubravka, with Wembley just a couple of weeks away.
Well, the difference between the two sides so far is Alexander Isak. Hasn't been too much in it. Thought Brighton started the better of the two sides, and they've had a good response actually to going behind as well, but it's that man at the top for Newcastle that's the difference. And Brighton would have been watching that team sheet really interestingly when they first came out and saw his name on it. Much as Liverpool were delighted he wasn't on it in midweek, Brighton would have been disappointed to see his name on there.
Bruggen long clearance. They have just changed it recently more than they used to in terms of playing out through the thirds or going long. Stupinian. Not the best of passes. Trippier cut it out. Now here's Barnes. One into Hinshaw, who's having another good day for Brighton.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, they're not obsessed with possession, are they, Brighton, anymore? It's not just about keeping it, it's about moving the ball quickly, getting from one end to the other in transition really quickly.
It's a process, I think, that started with Roberto De Zerbi in charge and taken on here by this bright young manager, Fabian Hürzeler. Here's Webster. Stupinian. It's given away. He's a little bit shaky in possession, and here's Gordon. I wonder if Newcastle will make Brighton pay for that error. Miley. Matoma got back well at it.
A little bit ahead of him, the pass from Anthony Gordon, who had to be patient actually, because when he was driving forward, he was the only one actually in attack, so he had to wait and hold the ball before a few Newcastle shirts could get up in support of him.
These two, Newcastle were expected to be the big spenders with Saudi ownership, but it's Brighton who spent the 215 million in the last couple of transfer windows. Newcastle 71 million. Here's Matoma.
Brighton have banked some big sales, haven't they, in the last few seasons though, so they had money waiting to be spent.
And that big profit as well for them. But had De Zerbi been given that cash to spend last season, he might still be manager. That's a poor ball. He hasn't quite got his range of passing. They've always tried that at diagonal with Lewis Dunk at the back, but he hasn't quite got the range yet.
Lewis Dunk's excellent, isn't he, at delivering those big diagonals from the back.
Really wants to win this competition, the Brighton coach, but they look glum.
I wonder what pie they chose.
You'll never know, will we? Way there by Fabian Schär. Now Van Hecke. Joe Linton for Newcastle, turn into space as they try to counter now in the last 5 minutes of the half. Gordon plays off for Livramento. Minty got back at him, it's a goal kick.
He timed that one all right. It was his error, his mistake, on the same man actually, that led to the penalty. But he times this tackle.
Got his weight right for that challenge, didn't he? Good young player, Livramento. Southampton's lost Newcastle's game. He's only played just over 100 first-team games in his career. That's a mark of a lot of these Brighton youngsters. Van Hecke gets it away to Hinshaw. Jorginho. Newcastle working really hard off the ball to close. Now Minty in there, tight space. Hinshelwood, the lever wants it to open things up to the left. Quickly away, that's a poor ball to Estupiñán. He has fouled Trippier.
There's been a few loose passes, isn't there? Giving the ball away cheaply. Newcastle well set, in good position to deal with that.
So that Estupiñán threw the ball away there to delay the free kick. Here's Sandro Tonali. 2 substitutes appearances in the Cup this season. His only appearances in the competition. He had that long ban, 10 months for breaching betting rules. Good player, the Italian international. Gordon. He's Belieber. Hasn't been as commanding, as forceful in this game as he has been of late. Estupiñán back to Webster. Now Van Hecker. Newcastle dropping back. Look at that solid line there of 5 in front of the 4. Minty. Passed into the group of black and white shirted players. That's where they wanted him to go. And now Joe Linton looks for Isak, who did look along the line then, but the pace of the pass has beaten him.
Well, they've looked to play on the counter, Newcastle generally. And Brighton have had the majority of the ball, have more possession than Newcastle. They've looked to try and break quickly. Isak's so intelligent, the movement. He recognises that the space is in the wide areas. Ball's overhit, frustratingly for him, but his movement is so good.
Brighton have struggled against teams who sit back and counter against them this season, but Charles Pedro, that's a lovely ball into Minty. It's 1-1, and Minty scores against the team that really didn't give him a first-team chance. Redemption for the man who gave away the penalty. 1-1.
Well, his pace has been really difficult for Newcastle to deal with. As you quite rightly say, gave away that penalty, but he hasn't let it affect him. And what a finish this is. Involved initially, and then just continues his run in behind that Newcastle defence. He's still got plenty to do. He's got a retreating defender, he's got the goalkeeper to beat, but he's calm. He's aided by a slight deflection, I think, off Kieran Trippier. And it finds the back of the net. Brighton are level. They probably, on the balance of it, deserve that. And have more of the ball. Newcastle perhaps had more opportunities, but Brighton definitely deserve to be level.
Goal celebrations, respectful at his former club. Joined Newcastle from Odense in Denmark. They loaned him out to Feyenoord last season. We won the cup, got 11 there, and then Brighton picked him up. On a piece. Approaching half-time. It's their first real shot on target. Well, Pedro did have the lob that was easily saved.
Well, they found it hard to breach the Newcastle defence initially because Newcastle have been so deep, and with them being deep, there isn't that room to get in behind. But on this occasion, Newcastle a little bit higher up. And look at the 2 centre-backs, Fabian Schär and Dan Burn. They're not the quickest, so pace can hurt them, as we've just seen Minte making that run in behind.
Up goes the 2 minutes stoppage time signal. Will take it from very deep. Too sure what that delay was for. Bumping and barging John Linton. He has to be careful now. I think the ball came in play. Gordon heads it infield. Here's Mitoma checking on the chest wrap. He's got such lovely close skills. And then lost possession. shaky challenge there by Believer on Joe Linton.
Two physical players. It was a rash challenge from Believer. A challenge that he didn't really need to make. Can't win the ball. Joe Linton using his body just to back into him. A rash challenge, deserving of the yellow.
High ball up then to Byrne. Joe Linton was behind him and smacked away by Believer. It's a push. Second on Van Hecker.
Yeah, I think it's a foul. Comes from behind him and just nudges into the back of Van Hecker.
Lots of chat going on in that technical area. Doesn't help officials. Half-time comes at St James's Park, and very even first half. Isak from the penalty spot after Minte had fouled Livramento. Great penalty, and then Minte redeemed himself in the two teams. But very, very tight between these two sides. Newcastle and the black and white kicking from left to right will get us off in this second half. Pick a winner. Can you pick a winner?
No, not really. I mean, Brighton have already won here once this season, haven't they, in the league? I think Danny Welbeck got the winner in that one. And after drawing themselves level, they'll fancy their chances of doing something similar.
It's a bright start from them in the second half as Mitoma looked for Stupinian. Tonali got back. Goal kick is the result. Covers a lot of ground in there.
Yeah, he does.
Just missed the ball, actually. That's why it's a goal kick. And I think as the next 2 weeks unfold, the Dubravka or Pope for the League Cup final debate will strengthen. That's Lewis Miley, just 18 years of age. Tonali went through the challenge there of Jorginho very easily, and he looks for Isak. Estupinian got something on it. Isak keeps it in play, looks for Gordon on the far side. Minty got back, here's Miley. And now Livramento. Minty goes out to meet him. Miley again. Good spell at the moment. Here's the England under-21 current international. Tonali. Gordon, initially dispossessed by Minty, who got something in his face there. Gordon to take on Lamptey, both go to ground. It's not a penalty.
No, that's just a coming together. Both players know it. The big opportunity was for Isak moments ago. Touch just took him wide, which meant he had to cross rather than go for goal.
He did get a hand back in the face, but wasn't enough to send him to the ground in a defensive situation.
And he was caught by Livramento, I think, not Anthony Gordon. Lamptey does well, actually, to stick with him.
There's a quick check from Anthony Taylor. It is a modern trend in the game that players will stop abruptly, even if their team is in trouble. I think, is this a communications problem we're having here with the referee? Or is he just having a chat here to explain the situation with the Bruggen drop ball situation?
I think just potentially checking if there was a penalty or not. I think that's what was happening, but watching it again, he comes across Lamptey, just gets his body across. Not a penalty for me.
Out by Van Hecker. So João Pedro doesn't stick with him, and in that situation, that's where they needed Danny Welbeck. Now, Livramento. Joe Linton steps away to open up the gap. was plugged by Lamptey.
Got through some work, Livramento today. Been up and down that left side.
Now Byrne. Joel Linton on a yellow card. They won't want him to risk getting a red.
No, and I wonder how long he'll play anyway. First game for a month. Eddie Howe said he's unlikely that he'll play 90 minutes. Try and get as many as he can into his legs, though. Benches could be quite important. I know Brighton tend to make all their subs.
Don't be surprised if Fabian Hürzeler makes 3 in one substitution window. There's Van Hecker. Not played at a great pace, and Brighton prefer a more intense pace. They don't like playing against teams that do sit back. Dropped valuable points at home this season in games like that. Southampton at home was 1-1. Just one of the many examples. Here's Gordon. Blocked by Estupinian. Pedro fouling his man. And a good Newcastle signing. Fabian Schär only cost 3 million. He's been at the club now coming up 7 years, over 200 games. Mento eased away there from Minty. Here's Joel Linton back to Gordon. Isak alone in the middle. Being watched by Webster. It's a good build-up. Livramento, I think he believed there was going to be contact from Lamptey.
Thought about it, didn't he? Well, I think he was hoping for Lamptey to stick a leg in. It didn't come. First bit of skill to beat Yankuba Minte was terrific. As I say, he's been excellent today. Up and down that left-hand side. Plays a nice 1-2, carries his run on into the box. Lamptey just pulled out.
Be interesting to see if Thomas Tuchel makes him England left back for a long time to come. Just that one game. Out by Schär, very experienced Swiss international. Now Belabor. Lamptey comes into the line. Minty's off ahead of him. Jorginho, foul. It's a niggly little challenge there. He's got to watch it. He's just kicked the ball as well.
He brings him down. It is a foul. I don't think that's a yellow card offence, but you have to be really careful, as you say, kicking the ball against him. That's something that he can easily pick up a yellow card for.
Jorginho, lovely man to speak to. He really loves his football.
Loves the FA Cup as well. Scored in the 3rd round, twice against Norwich. Scored against Chelsea in the 4th round.
4 goals in his 6 ties, including the games at Leeds. 6 in his last 9 games for Brighton. Hinshaw with the free kick in, looking for Webster, easily defended by Byrne. João Pedro finds Karim Matoma. Really seen him get a run at Kieran Trippier all game long. Tonali doubled up on him there. Webster looks to set Matoma away. Flag has stayed down. He'll run at Trippier again when he pulls it back to João Pedro. Newcastle, plenty of bodies back in there now. Estupinian with the cross, met by Hinshaw. A little bit of a muddle in there, Jorginho and Minty, and they can break away now. Belabor getting back. Gordon got something on him. He needs to watch it as well, Belabor. This time's one more challenge and he's gone. Estupinian. Again, because of his comeback trail from injury, don't be surprised if Estupinian doesn't last 90 minutes. It's curious from Webster. Now Schär. Showed too much of it to João Pedro. Trippier back to help out. João Pedro battling away. Determined there, wasn't he?
Yeah, didn't give it up. He just mentioned the substitutions. It could be the benches that decide this game. Both sides have got plenty in reserve.
Trippier had to stretch. Oh, risky a little bit. Dubravka saw it coming. Isak has jumped into his man. Bundled into Estupinian.
He's so dangerous, Isak. There's moments in games where he looks disinterested and then he just comes alive. This is the risky back pass from Trippier, but Dubravka was aware of it and alive.
I think we heard the voice of the assistant manager of Newcastle, Jason Tindall, questioning the referee's decision there in the background. Unusual. Not one to keep his thoughts to himself, and of course Anthony Taylor sent him off in that game against Aston Villa. And the brouhaha that followed the sending off of John Duran. Livramento, oh, just a lack of understanding between the centre half. João Pedro! Too near the goalkeeper, Dubravka who saved as Newcastle switched off.
Yeah, this is the fear for Newcastle, the lack of pace at centre-back. Fabian Schär and Dan Burn leaving that one to each other, but João Pedro's just too quick for both of them. Gets the snapshot away.
Jorginho did well. Minty, here's Mitoma, oh dear. Gorm will take the throw. The shot ended up further back up the pitch.
Newcastle fans just sensing that Brighton are on top here, trying to lift their side.
Two tricky ties to get through. Norwich away, possible banana skin, and then a very difficult one against Chelsea. They beat them back-to-back games, Cup and then League. Here's Gordon to Isak, well done Van Hecke there. It's going to be a Brighton throw. Options from the bench for Newcastle: Bruno Guimaraes, of course, Joe Willock, Sean Longstaff, Jacob Murphy. Form's just dipped a little bit of late. Callum Wilson to come on up front. Murphy is coming on. So to Guimaraes. There's young Lewis Smiley. Bruno Guimaraes makes an appearance with his experience, his ability. Such a good player. Joe Linton's day is done, as we thought it would be, about the hour. So Joe Willock comes on for him. Harvey Barnes is replaced by Murphy.
Pre-match he said opportunity for one or two players. Say that Harvey Barnes has taken his, can you not had too much influence on the game?
And there are places to play for, with Wembley in the League Cup final against Liverpool a couple of weeks away. Here's Estupinian.
On the front foot right now, Brighton. They sense an opportunity here.
Newcastle have certainly freshened up their midfield area. Belieber, Estupinian. Now Mitoma, will he have a run here now against Trippier? Does so, early ball in, shovelled away by Schär.
João Pedro a little late to react. Mitoma dropping the shoulder and getting that cross at the near post, but João Pedro didn't get across his man.
Angled up, looking for Jorginho. Across came Bird. Working very hard at the moment. Belieber, strongest second half from him, would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think Brighton generally have been the better side second half by a bit of a distance. Newcastle have been sloppy, and it's Eddie Howe that, less than 15 minutes into the second half, have decided to make 3 changes just to try and freshen things up, because his team haven't started this second half well at all.
their hoodoo side. Look at the last 10 minutes of possession dominated by the away team. Don't forget, could have extra time, could have penalties today.
Yeah, sometimes the possession, you can look at that and go, well, they've had lots of the ball, but they haven't done anything with it. The last 10 minutes, they've had lots of the ball, but they've also been dangerous. They've had it in good areas, they've had it up the pitch.
Reached the 6th round last year, the quarter-final, and Manchester City beat them. Newcastle United had to travel to Manchester. They've only won 10 FA Cup ties in 11 years. They're beyond the 4th round for only the 3rd time in 11 years. This is a club with a huge FA Cup tradition in years gone by. That's given away poorly. Hinshelwood. Here's Curry. Matoma went to place it. Blocked by Cher. Hinshelwood battling and pulling his man back. Willock.
Albion Cher again giving the ball away. They've been sloppy in possession, Newcastle, second half.
Livramento. Gordon ahead of him. Emirates arriving on the edge of the penalty area. Easily plucked out. Almost like at times 4-1 for Newcastle, and they get Willock, get Murphy up. Sometimes it's like a 4-4-2. There is Tonali, he's doing a lot of that defensive duty in midfield. They can't get going, Newcastle, at the moment. Well, that's poor from Estupinian. Guimaraes. Isak. Dropped his shoulder. Lovely ball in behind. Bruno Guimaraes. Lamptey had to get it away. That's the best move we've seen from Newcastle for a while.
Brilliant from Isak again. He's the one that makes them tick. So clever. The pass in behind. And Guimaraes has got options. He can go for goal. He can pick out Gordon. But it's Willock that's arriving on the penalty spot. That's probably the best option.
Good defending by Lamptey. He's certainly having his best spell for a long while in the side, Lamptey. An hour played at St James's Park. Giving Trippier right-footed. Away it goes then. Oh, that's poor. Out by Hinshelwood. And given away again. And off goes Mitoma. Murphy trying to chase him back. Mitoma lacked options up in support. He's held it up very well and then gives it away. Unaccountably, really, after all that work. I think the importance of this cup tie is now getting through to the players. None of them will want extra time. No one wants extra time. Tonali. How good has he been today?
Terrific. On and off the ball. Always available for his team. He's filled holes brilliantly. Snuffed out danger.
Now, roaring its anger. Another card wasn't produced. Belabor on a yellow, Lamptey on a yellow, Webster on a yellow. This is blocked by Webster. And Jacob Murphy's ball in. Here he is again. And that's a Newcastle corner kick. Could have been a second yellow, couldn't it?
Needs to be careful.
They'll make a change imminently, Brighton, with Belabor in mind. In comes across from Gordon, big punch away. Pressure there from Jorginho pays off. Mitoma helped it on. Gordon tracks back, winger to winger here. Trippier. And Byrne looks out wide. Whittaker's across there. Livramento making the run off him. Take his eye off the ball. Van Hecker, that's really complacent. A lackadaisical passing going on. That's a better one from Guimaraes all the way through to Trippier. Here's a chance for Newcastle. Cross is deflected and a big punch from 6'4" Bart for Bruggen at the stretch. Newcastle on top now, reinvigorated by the substitutions. Trippier asking questions of Mitoma now defensively. Bruno Guimaraes dispossessed by Hinchwood, who's been excellent. Stupinian casual again with the pass, and Trippier was too strong for him in the challenge. And then Jorginho didn't see Byrne coming, but here's Lamptey. Error-strewn passage of play that was. He had João Pedro through the middle. He was a willing runner, Tariq Lamptey, and then slipped.
Neither side can keep it for any length of time. Both casual on the ball.
26 minutes to go. Another error, Bruno Guimaraes unaware. Belabor, that's composure and confidence. Jorginho on the run, steps inside, we'll have a shot here. Blocked by Cher, comes out to Mitoma. João Pedro takes it back again. Newcastle plenty of black and white back there now. Stupinian with the cross. Belabor, he'll have a go. That's a terrific block. Would have got the block in. Needed to. Hinchwood now for Brighton Hove Albion, having a look. What's on? Goes back to Van Hecke first.
Very deep Newcastle, can't get out.
And Kuba Minty. 2 men on him, so he uses Lamptey.
Newcastle fans trying to urge them up the pitch, get some pressure on the ball.
Here comes the cross. Header on by Hinchwood, easily saved. He's deceptively good in the air, is Jack Hinchwood. He's under 6 foot. A rarity these days. Brighton are preparing a couple of subs, I can tell you. This is Brian Gruder, talented ball-carrying young German midfielder, is going to come on. And also Diego Gomez, who was very good on his full debut against Bournemouth in midweek. Here's Gordon though for Newcastle United. Goes on the outside. Van Hecke got an important header away. Bruno Guimaraes cushioned the header down strangely. It's Isak. Oh, what a block! What a block! Hinchwood, I think it was.
I'm not sure he's going for goal or whether he's trying to cross this, Isak. If he's trying to cross it, it's a strange decision. Difficult to tell. Hinchwood does superbly. There's another big opportunity gone begging.
When he turns 20 in April, Jack Hinchwood, he's got 3 under-21 caps all this season. That target looks as if he could be coming on for Newcastle. Full back. I think it would probably be thinking about it, Trippier who would go off, and wait and see what happens there. Oh, they've seen a few games, haven't they, between those two. Here's Gordon. Curls it away. Webster came to meet it, firm header. Livramento, who's been excellent. That's gone wide, uses the fullback, cross in the middle, must be, oh goodness, goodness, goodness. What a missed opportunity in the middle for Newcastle United. It had to be for Joe Willett, and it wasn't to be.
He looks shocked, doesn't he, Joe Willett? Brilliant combination down that left-hand side. Lovely ball lofted into the area from Livramento. He just misses it. I think he gets the slightest touch on it, Joe Willett. I don't know whether he's heard a shout from behind. He looks at Fabian Cher. Either way, he's got to take responsibility.
New boos ringing around. And here come the substitutions. And Belabor is sacrificed. And Gomez will go into that position. They signed him in January from Inter Miami. He's a Paraguay international. Then he played 3 hours of football for Brighton. So far he's 21. And another one on that conveyor belt of talent they find. Well, he's disappointed to go off, but he's on a yellow, you can understand it. And Brian Gruder, he comes on. And Yankuba Minte will depart.
An eventful day for him. Gave away a penalty that led to Newcastle's opener. Found the equaliser himself.
It is Trippier who departs for Newcastle United, and on comes Matt Targett.
We said the benches might be important. Plenty of subs happening right now.
And Targett playing the previous 2 rounds. Lasted an hour in the first game against Bromley, just over, and played the whole 90 in the game at Birmingham.
The second half's definitely felt more like a cup tie, hasn't it?
Targett's arrival means that Livramento can come to the right now. Be his favoured position. It's a free kick. Targett's first touch away then towards Anthony Gordon. Just over 20 minutes to go. Anti's defended well there. Wins the throw, and he wasn't confident in the appeal. He was a little bit surprised in the appeal. Brighton will have painful memories of a game going to penalties. The last time it happened for them in a major FA Cup game was the semi-final. Manchester United beat them at Wembley after 0-0, scoreline on 120. Here's João Pedro. Gets it back again from Gruder. Hinshelwood. Then forward there then by Diego Gomez, rushing to close down and win it back again. By Murphy. Isak's done so well, class above. Livramento, they've got a 4-on-3 momentarily, and then Hinshelwood gets back as well, but Lentin got too tight on Bruno Guimaraes.
Nice smile. End-to-end stuff right now. Both sides trying to find a winner. Big opportunity this for Newcastle, decent from set pieces.
The forearm came across, just pushed into him, gave the referee a decision to make. 19 minutes to go. Anthony Gordon will take it. Up and away by Van Hecker. Hit first time back into the mix by Murphy. Stupinian will lead the Brighton counter. And he's caught in possession. Murphy wins it back again. Cuts the pass out wide to Isak. Opportunity has come and gone. Groans from the Newcastle fans.
Just a lack of care. You've worked so hard to win possession back for your team. You've tracked back, you've won the ball. Just get the pass right, especially when you've got someone like Isak trying to get on the end of it. He applauds the effort, but it's a simple pass that goes astray.
Well, they didn't necessarily like one or two of their substitutions, the Newcastle fans, that Eddie Howe made. And there have been a few groans when Willicks had the ball, certainly when he missed that opportunity, and a few groans when Murphy's had the ball as well. Murphy had an excellent season last season, didn't he? 6 goals this season from the wide midfield player. Here's Webster. Isak comes across. Should be a Newcastle ball. Getting on top here, the home side.
Yeah, they are. They're building up a head of steam, but I think there's been too many mistakes, though, from both sides. Guilty of giving up possession too easily. But they have lifted it after a slow start to the second half.
Brighton went out at this stage last season when they lost against Wolves. Ending high hopes. Here's Gruder. Looking for João Pedro. Twisting, turning. Tonali back again for Newcastle. An important job he's played today, screening that back four.
Huge. particularly when we've talked quite a bit about Cher and Burns' lack of pace. He's helped both of them out massively.
João Pedro, Gruder's there with him. Lamptey making the full little spurt towards the edge of the penalty area. Coming to the time now where the next goal very probably wins it. Here's Mitoma. Gomez. Estupinian sees the run of Mitoma. Newcastle didn't. Across the face of goal. Needed someone to gamble. And Newcastle now from Gordon's pass will look to counter quickly. Murphy. Livramento on the outside. Isak ahead of him. Again, it's a tame, complacent pass in. Might get a better one in here now from Murphy. Tempting, teasing. Van Hecker did really well. Livramento missed kick. And Jorginho will have it now for Brighton as we approach the last 15 minutes. Off goes Gruder. And across comes Burn to deny the 20-year-old.
It's a really watchable cup tie. It might have lacked a bit of quality at times. Isak, the standout player, but both sides are going at it right now.
Fabian Schär for Newcastle. To Sandro Tonali. Never won the cup in Italy, won the league with Milan. Serie B with Brescia. For a player of his ability, that is substandard. Now here's Mitoma. Gruder's away on the right-hand side. On it goes from Gomez. João Pedro. Back to Diogo Gomez. Will shoot from there.
Yeah. Doesn't get that one right. Not a good break from Brighton. This is the one from Mitoma, right across that 6-yard box. Only João Pedro in there. There's a couple of Brighton shirts just hanging out, looking for the pullback, but he plays a lovely ball across the 6-yard area. Not enough people gambling.
Don't want to see that again. Anthony Gordon. Decent pass that. We're looking towards the near post. That caused some consternation, but went out of play, and the referee just checking that he's okay.
He had to stretch and goes crashing into the advertising hoardings.
Just flicked the bottom of the support metal thingamajig. I'm not too sure what they're called.
You're looking at me for inspiration. Can't help you.
Thingamajig anyway, that'll do. Brighton have been caught doing that this season. Webster to Estupinian. Mitoma. So levered to the ground by Bruno Guimaraes. The free kick is taken very quickly, rashly perhaps. Not quite got back to his best form. Missed 5 months of the last couple of seasons. Estupinian. And here comes Danny Welbeck. And also Mats Wiefer will come on. Jorginho will go off, I would think, and Estupinian, the way he looked at the bench also. Here's Gruder, described as a generational talent in Germany. When it goes to Gomez, had to force it. Newcastle, plenty of shirts back there again. Gruder, look for the pass to Estupinian, for whom time is tight, I think. Gomez. Hinchell wanted more than everyone else. Jorginho. Well played, Willock got back at him. Lamptey. He comes across, taken away by Byrne. That was so important. Gomez followed up. Here's Mitoma. And the shot misplaced by Brian Good, who hasn't scored for the club yet.
The game is so open. Both sides desperate, trying to win it in normal time. Claims for a penalty. The eventual effort well over the top. He runs in. Diego Gomez. He does get caught, but I don't think there's anything to him.
Here come the two substitutions then. Danny Welbeck, you will all know. Jorginho goes off. Welbeck will come on nominally for him. And João Pedro will drop into a deeper position. Danny Welbeck with a good record in the FA Cup, 9 goals, winner in 2017 against Chelsea. You might not be as familiar with Mats Wiefer, who came in for over £25 million last July from Feyenoord, where he was a Dutch Cup winner, but he hasn't really settled. He's definitely a Marmite player with Brighton fans. No free kick given. Lamptey's come to the right-hand side of the defence with Estupiñán up, and Hinshelwood has dropped back into the right-back position, with Wiefer coming on in midfield. Here's João Pedro. Albert making the run off him. Wiefer's out there. Misplaces his pass to Hinshelwood, who's fouled his man Bruno Guimaraes. To stop him there, wasn't a good ball into him.
No, pull on the arm. And a few niggly fouls from Jack Hinshelwood.
Goes across there now. Wiefer is covering that right back position. I've not seen him play there for Brighton, but they've left Hinshelwood in midfield. They thought about that change.
No, strange one, isn't it? I mean, Hinshelwood could play either full-back position. Could have left Lamptey where he was and put Hinshelwood at left-back, no problem. Or if he wanted to switch Lamptey, put Hinshelwood at right-back, Wiefer in midfield. But no, it looks like Wiefer's going to do the job at right-back.
He stepped out of position there, leaving Gruder to deal with Gordon. No free kick given. Brian Gruder a little bit hasty with the clearance away. I think Brighton might have troubles on that right-hand side of defence. One back by Gomez. Here's Brian Gruder. He's a lovely carrier of the ball. Here's Mitoma. Rushed the pass to João Pedro. Welbeck might have been the better option. 7.5 minutes to go.
Great description, rush the pass, and that's been the case actually for a lot of players today. Willock the same there. Rushing, trying to get forward. And in their haste, they've made mistakes and given the ball away. And still checking to see whether this was a penalty or not, but again, this is outside the box. Gordon's got a hold of his man. I don't see that being a penalty. I think Anthony Taylor's seen that quite correctly initially.
Just before Euro 24, the German team manager said he'd elevated one of his under-21 players to train with the senior squad. Didn't name him, but it was Gruder. They think very highly of him. He was just a little bit suspect there. Might have been a penalty, but it's been checked as you've just seen. I think he's going to be a talent. Scher gives it away. No one can keep hold of the ball here. Comes to Gordon. Now Isak. Wiefer did get back at him, and Isak was offside. And there was a little bit of afters. Gordon was involved. Van Hecker's gone down, and it's going to be a red card here. The referee has sent off Anthony Gordon.
Well, he's in shot. It did look like he'd had a little swing. We'll see it again. Initially, Isak's offside. When they win it back, he plays the ball through, Gordon, and he's clearly in an offside position. Play's allowed to continue initially. Gordon driving into the box. There's a coming together with Van Hekken. You just see the right hand come out on the back of Van Hekken's head. Anthony Taylor was really quick to get the red card out. So there's a slight coming together, and then he just shoves him across the face.
Hand to head, isn't it? Second sending off in a Newcastle shirt for Anthony Gordon. And should this game go to extra time, as seems at the moment quite likely, they'll be with 10.
Now what does he do?
Well, he's made 4 changes already.
Silly, wasn't it, from Anthony Gordon? No need to get involved. The ball was dead. The offside had been given.
Afterwards, Eddie Howe will possibly diplomatically defend his player. I'm not too sure whether he can. He's having a word there with the 4th official. If you raise a hand to the head of an opponent, you really can't have many excuses. And when he sees it back, he'll be, I think, annoyed with himself.
Silly, wasn't it? As I say, there was not a lot happening. Oh, this is more problems for Eddie Howe. Look, he's just gone down to 10, and his star man looks in trouble here.
The worry for this is the way Alexander Isak has looked at the bench.
Yeah, that's it. It's like his race is run.
Wilson will come on. Just back from that injury that kept him out against Liverpool. It was a groin problem. I hope that isn't a recurrence.
Right, even if you're feeling it slightly, you've got a cup final coming up in a couple of weeks' time. You take absolutely no chance, especially with someone of his importance.
Should it go to penalties, he'd have taken one, and so would Anthony Gordon.
Does that mean Anthony Gordon misses the cup final as well? Straight red?
It's competition specific, isn't it? Oh, I don't know, because it was a straight red for violent conduct. I think you could be right there. They only have the West Ham game in between this one and Wembley and Liverpool. And I think he's out of the Carabao Cup final.
Big opportunity for Brighton this now. Isak off, down to 10 men.
And I think Gordon is out of the Carabao Cup final. Here's Van Hekken. Now Mitoma. Lamptey. Brighton have the corner. They score here and it's game over, you would think, for Newcastle.
It's unravelled for them really quickly. They're still in it. Still got a chance of progressing, but they're going to have to do it against the odds now.
That is confirmed. He is out of Wembley and the Carabao Cup final. Gruder with the cross, chance at the far post, brought down and hit keenly, and then Mitoma follows up. Gruder. Danny Welbeck. Gruder again. Welbeck has come wide. And here's Webster. Brighton pushing for a winner with 2.5 to go. Van Hekken. I think, in fact, this has also now been confirmed. He would, if Newcastle go through, the third game for the ban would be the 6th round. What an expensive red card. Lamptey plays inside, looking for Mitoma. He's got something on it. Big chance here for Gruder. Tried to find João Pedro. Shot was on. Hinshelwood with a hit, Lamptey.
There has to be an element of patience for Brighton. Trying efforts from way outside the box. First Hinshelwood was blocked and then Lamptey.
What an opportunity this is for Brighton now to reach the quarter-final for the fourth time in 8 years against 10-men opposition.
Great skill from Hinshelwood inside the box, and he caught that really sweetly. What a block. Pushing hard to find the winner in normal time.
Cramp for Mitoma from the look of that.
Probably going to be quite a few added on as well with the substitutions we've had. Plenty of incident.
Well, he reacted very quickly, didn't he, to the Gordon situation. Knew what he'd seen, and out came the Reds very quickly.
Yeah, it was silly from Anthony Gordon. No need whatsoever.
Straight red from him as well. You don't often see those from Anthony Taylor. First this campaign. He's having a tactical team talk there, and he'll have another one in a few moments, you'd think. Is he telling them how to win it in normal time? Bold shout to have Weaver playing right back and sticking Hinshelwood into the middle. And Sonny March will come on, great favourite of the Brighton fans, but a completely different player to Karu Mitoma. That's that burst of pace. He was out of the game from October 23 until Christmas this season with a knee problem. He's only played 46 minutes. It's 6 minutes of stoppage time, Matt.
Well, still time for Brighton to try and find a winner.
He got a fantastic goal very late on in a tie at Millwall the other year. I think it was a season when they reached the semi-final in 2019. Out by Byrne. Turned into trouble there, Lamptey. Oh, and Tariq Lamptey's going to go for a second yellow. And both teams are down to 10 for extra time, you'd have thought. Turned into trouble, mistimed it, always at risk.
Wow, football's incredible, isn't it? What a game this has been. So many twists and turns. Just as you think Brighton are the team that are more and more likely to go on and win it. Tariq Lamptey does this on the stretch. Nowhere near it. Catches Murphy. Brighton are down to 10. Just as Newcastle have had to try and regroup, try and reorganise. Now Brighton have got to do something similar.
I think they'll push Hinshelwood to left back where he's played this season. And Sonny March will have to drop into a midfield position with Gomez. They've never played together before that. We'll wait to see. Sonny can play left back and has done in the past. Can Newcastle win it here? Guimaraes will take it. Pushing and shoving going on. Oh, it's a lovely free kick in! Newcastle have surely won it with Fabian Schär. Right at the end. In a game that has twisted and turned and had 2 red cards. And it's Schär who pops up with the odd, very important goal. Who gets this one. Newcastle 2, Brighton 1.
Absolutely incredible. No Isak, no Gordon, no problem. Or is that? It could be a problem. He might just have veered offside. It's some ball. He finished it brilliantly, but he was always looking across the line at the assistant, worried about whether he was offside or not. He may have gone a fraction too early.
Well, they celebrated as if they believed it was a goal, but from the naked eye it looked as if he'd strayed offside. And that jubilation may be short-lived.
Yeah, my first initial reaction was that he's in an offside position. It's some delivery, really difficult to defend against, and oh, they can't believe it. Just when they think that they're in real trouble, then they think they've won it, and it might be taken away. You can't even look.
30 newly installed cameras around the stadium, some of them capturing footage at 100 frames per second. That's twice the frame of a normal broadcast camera. They're tracking the movement of the ball. There are 10,000 surface mesh data points per player with this semi-automated offside technology. And if that's not clear enough, then the human VAR will play a role. Said to speed it up by at least 30 seconds per decision. From the naked eye, it looked clear, Matt.
Yeah, I thought it was offside, and so it is.
What he said, hang on a minute. According to the TV screen and the technology, what? Anthony Taylor.
Newcastle number 5, the goal scorer is offside. Therefore, the restart is indirect free kick.
Offside given. Do you like it now, this new thing in the FA Cup with the referees explaining things?
Well, I think you always want to hear it from the referee. Often those attending a game are the ones that miss out. They don't find all the information quickly enough. But oh, look how tight it was as well.
The lean of the body took him offside. Stays 1-1. Welbeck dispossessed. Battles back for him again. Wins the throw for Brighton.
Surely there's not another twist.
I think he's questioning the length of stoppage time, whether or not there's going to be more added on. He's had 5 yellow cards this season in the technical area. Gruder with the throw. Awkward that for Webster. It's not a particularly good throw, not at this stage. Hinshelwood, Gruder holding off the Newcastle challenge from Guimaraes. That's a terrible clearance away. Brian Gruder, Webster up, back to him from Welbeck. Strong challenge there on the edge of the penalty, and Tonali taken out by Diego Gomez. Can Newcastle yet win it here on the counter? Oh, how about that for a recovery challenge from the Paraguayan?
Tonali in pain now. He was one caught on the edge of the box, but Anthony Taylor, quite rightly, was allowed play to continue.
Knee on knee, that's a painful one, isn't it?
Yeah, so.
Oof. He got back well, though, didn't he, Gomez, to win the ball. We're very probably playing time added on now for the VAR decision for the disallowed Newcastle goal. They've had a couple disallowed today. Hinshelwood back, covering. It's a Newcastle throw. Now or never, or we go to extra time, you think. João Pedro doubling up with Gomez. Here's Murphy. Share. What a goal that would have been for him. It would have been his first ever in the FA Cup. Guimaraes. Still we go on. Tonali. Murphy. That's a lovely ball in. Oh no, it's not. It raced away.
That was a good try. Saw the run of Bruno Guimaraes. He was a little unlucky this time. Had to be precise, had to be the weight on the pass, but Guimaraes didn't have the pace to get there.
Seconds remain with an extra half hour tagged on. João Pedro Rose out by Tonali. Hinshelwood, who's been very good for Brighton. Burn away. Welbeck battles, gets it back. Rarely seen both teams as casual in possession. That's the tensions of an FA Cup tie. Win this and Wembley is 90 minutes away. Semis at Wembley, final course at the great stadium. Guimaraes. Now Murphy. Big Dan Burn. Target. Sure has Tonali there, but there's no more time. After 90 minutes, it's Newcastle 1, Brighton 1. Isak from the spot for Newcastle midway through the first half. Just before the interval, Minty levelled it up. Cher thought he'd won it, but his goal was ruled up. Taylor will get the message any moment now. Here we go. Newcastle 1, Brighton 1. Both teams down to 10 men. And we're into extra time.
Quite pleased we've got another 30 minutes. It was 90 minutes full of drama. I thought that it was Brighton's to win when Anthony Gordon was sent off. Tarek Lamptey following him shortly. He's even the numbers up again.
Hinshelwood's been excellent for Brighton Hove Albion. He's just dropped in between the two centre-backs now. He's had another role for him. Has gone away to the left-hand side. And Hinshelwood was asked to do that job after Lamptey had gone off. Weaver was signed as something of a midfield destroyer, hard man in midfield. I'm not too sure he's lived up to that billing. Has played at centre-back in his career. Sonny March has come across here now. He's right wing back. Back is a foul by Gomez, and he gets a yellow card.
I think that's been on its way since he arrived onto the pitch. Been a few late challenges from him. It's probably a totting up process. He's been let off a couple of occasions, not this time.
Very subdued atmosphere inside the stadium for a cup tie that is so delicately balanced. Dan Burn. At target. Looks for Wilson, who hasn't had a touch since coming off the bench. Did well there. And he rolled back the years as he finds Bruno Guimaraes could be the game changer. Willock lays it off. Livramento arrives. Now Murphy. Chance for Newcastle United. The set-up ball. And the way it was by Hinshelwood. Sort of Alexander Isak territory in there. High ball in, keeper comes. Sound goalkeeping that.
Very good goalkeeping. Very proactive and alert. He's done that well actually today. Hart for Bruggen. He's been very quickly off his line to deal with crosses into the box.
Weathel around the corner. Too high the bounce for João Pedro. And here's Dan Burn. Fighting the chase now. In the wide position for Willock. Right, with plenty of bodies back. It's a lovely run through. Tonali arrives to try and get onto the chest down by Guimaraes.
It's well worked. Could Bruno Guimaraes gone for goal himself with his head? I think there was pace on the ball. He's arriving well. I think he could have gone for goal himself. He was unselfish trying to pick out Tonali.
A little bit short to João Pedro, who's nudged to the ground. Rather went through him.
got a busy match report to write, hasn't he, Anthony Taylor? Decided against another yellow. You've asked me a few times today about can you pick a winner? Still finely balanced. No nearer knowing who's going to be in the quarter-final.
Here's Van Hecke towards Diego Gomez. Ball up to João Pedro to chase. Dan Burn was there. Turns 33 in May, Dan Burn. Another year on his contract left after this one. Lack of pace at this stage of his career will never be a problem, because Dan will be the first one to tell you he's never really been blessed with it. Here's Van Hecke. Gomez has made the run in there. Not really seen. Webster. Weaver. Ranges the passes. Van Hecke turns away from Wilson. Just here, Brighton fans singing it right at the top of the stand, away to the left-hand side of your picture. Up in the gods. Here's Welbeck. Brian Gruder. Here's Solly March. Van Hecke with a cross into the middle. Comes here to Welbeck with the juggle. A little layoff. Will it bounce kindly for Brighton? It didn't. João Pedro's on the deck. Dan Burn is on the deck too.
Some tired legs. Both coming together. João Pedro's been stretching his hamstring with a bit of cramp. Dan Burn looks a tired man. Busy period, albeit not as many games in March. They've just come through such a hectic schedule, these two sides.
Share. Out by Solly March. Now here's Gruder. He cruises on the ball, Gruder. Sometimes his decision making is a little bit young, a little bit naive. He's only 20. Bruno Guimaraes. Looks like a man on a mission since coming on. One back by Weaver. Here's Tonali. Cruel on either of these to go out now. One of them has to. Here's Guimaraes. And Murphy. Back to Bruno Guimaraes. Could make all the difference. Dan Burn. Target. Sandro Tonali dropping deeper. Willock. Cross was looking for Wilson and it was away by Gomez, and then João Pedro was pulled back. If the referee is consistent, and he has been fairly consistent throughout, well, he wasn't. His book players were pulling back like that.
Yes, and also kicking the ball away, but I think kicking the ball away came right on the whistle. I mean, that's a clear foul, and judging by what we've seen in this game, a yellow card, isn't it? Dan Burn kicks the ball away, but I think that came right on the whistle. Anthony Taylor turning a blind eye to that one. This doesn't look good for João Pedro. Been down a couple of times in the last few minutes. Needs to be careful.
Brighton's next game is Fulham at home next weekend. We go to Manchester City before the 6th round. Welbeck too strong there. He's got Gruder up in support. That's a shot from Gomez that was deflected and therefore well saved. Welbeck follows it up and off the line by Dan Burn. Brighton pressing for a winner. Weaver deflected out wide. They think it came off a hand.
Oh wow, pinball inside the Newcastle defence. What an effort this is. Thought it was in. Brilliant save from Dubravka away to his right. João Pedro can't get on the end of that one. And then this is the handball shout. Is it handball? That's the question. Oh, it hits the hand of Livramento. His hand's down by his side. I'm not sure he can get out of the way.
No penalty given, very quickly dealt with. In comes the corner looking for João Pedro. And it carries to Gomez. A decent scoring record with Inter Miami. Solly March with the cross back in. Back towards, is it Weaver there? Oh, it's Hinshelwood with the shot over.
What a save from Dubravka as well. Came at him quickly, and at full stretch he got a really good strong hand on it, and look how quick he was to get up as well.
We talked about one player missing out on the League Cup final at Wembley and Anthony Gordon sent off. That save could put him in the starting lineup.
That's a great save. Through bodies. And it's not just a save, he gets a really good hand on it.
Five minutes left in the first half of extra time.
It's a game that's absolutely flown by. There's been so much happening in it. I don't think it's been the highest quality match that we've seen all season, but it's actually made for a really good watch.
And that's given away high. Chance here, Brighton surely to win it. João Pedro could have taken the shot on. Played back by Gomez to Welbeck. Diego Gomez finds Welbeck on the outside. Big opportunity here. Headed away by Dan Burn, but it's a bit scrambly Newcastle. And Murphy turns it straight back to a yellow shirt in Weaver. Here's Gomez. Newcastle camp very deep and they are very weary. Fitness could be crucial here. Now that's a very curious pass from Van Hecker and a very curious passage of play.
Had some good moments in this first period of extra time.
Here's Webster. Quick release now. Van Hecker's dived in to stop the Newcastle player getting away. They're calling for a yellow card. He says just missed the ball as he went in for the challenge on Willett.
It's a really strange challenge from Van Hecker. I think he may even slip. Dives in as if he's going to tackle with his head, and then does he slip? No, I think he just tries to win it with his head, and it's a strange tackle.
Well, he's had a difficult game to control. When it go to penalties, his team's already 1-1 this season. A bit Nottingham Forest away 5-4 on spot kicks. Right goes then towards Burn. João Pedro away. Spoon back high. Van Hecker there again. He's so strong at the back for Brighton. Gruder touches it on to João Pedro, who looks tired. A tired touch, but he battles on there. No foul given. Cleared away by Willett. Crowd lifts its noise. Weaver did really well against Murphy. Tackled with the wrong foot, but he tackled. Tonali, here's Burn. Tonali squeezes the pass off, will come back to him. It shouts of shoot Willock. Now Matt Target. Cross hits Solly March. Tonali with the crossing. Wilson trying an old Callum Wilson technique.
Yeah, decent ball in. They haven't looked massively likely though, have they, Newcastle, in extra time? Brighton have done the majority of the attacking.
I wonder if history will repeat itself. In that League Cup tie against Forest at the City Ground back in August, where it finished 1-1, the winning penalty kick was taken by Sean Longstaff, who came off the bench. He's on the bench tonight. Both teams can make an extra time substitution, of course. So only 1 minute of stoppage time, end of first half of extra time. We may not go to penalties. Here's Gruder looking for Welbeck, battling on, went down, no free kick given. Again, possession turned over too deep for Newcastle comfort. Gruder sets up João Pedro, delayed the shot, it was blocked. Byrne did brilliantly for Newcastle United to get the block in.
Why didn't he pull the trigger? Big mistake from Murphy, giving the ball away.
He looks like a cat on a tin roof. Jacob Murphy not playing with a great deal of confidence, it would seem. Here's Willett. Going to the 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the 105th of this tie. Gruder. Good challenge on him by Dan Byrne. Mark steals a yard or two. Crowd let him know about it. Byrne edges it away. Target is forced to throw in Newcastle's way. Half time, extra time, still 1-1. Only 20 players out there, and the watch is on the right hand side there, you can see, with Reefer on the left again. We're into the last 15 minutes of the tie. Before we head to penalties, Guimaraes. Share.
What have they got left in the tank, these two sides? Can't be much. They've put so much into the game.
Willett plays back. Tonali. How many passes has he made? Might only be short passes, but it keeps the momentum ticking over. In the last 8 awaits. It's long for Wilson, too long.
He's a willing runner, Callum Wilson, always playing on the shoulder of the last man. Wants the ball in over the top. There's not a lot of room for him to try and find that one.
Webster. Weaver on it goes. Welbeck. Guimaraes got there just ahead of Diego Gomez. Tenacious player is Diego Gomez. He has his technical talent, but he's also, he likes a challenge. Now here's Murphy, also gifted. Guimaraes can be exceptional on his day. Wants it back again. Can be a game changer, can be a game winner. Tonali came off Weaver. They're taking their time. Murphy will take the throw. And takes it back. Target's arriving, rose high, rather jumped into Sonny March. No foul. That's what so many of you coaches will be saying. As you often say, wherever you coach, whatever level. Here's Wilson. Back it goes to Tonali for the hit to win it. Blocked by Webster. And there's the St James Park roar again for you.
stepped on, hasn't he? Tonali starting to edge further and further forward.
Murphy has done well. Gets to the run in here of Willock, going to have to be parried away by Verbruggen at the near post.
It's not the best option, I don't think, from Willock. He's never going to score from that angle. Verbruggen has got that near post covered. We'll see Callum Wilson looking for the pullback.
I cannot remember another attempt they've had on target since the first half of the game. Because the Cher one was ruled out, of course. Here's target, Byrne. That'll be some story if he wins it. Target into the mix, punched away by the goalkeeper, comes out to Tonali, big hit, brilliant block by Weaver. Saved Brighton there. And the effort straight at the goalkeeper from Matt Target.
They've started the better in the second period of extra time, Newcastle. That man's been at the heart of it. Right, and I think had the better of the first period. You feel the tension. Not long left to try and find a winner. Or are we heading all the way to penalties?
11 minutes to go. Newcastle have won their last 3 penalty shootouts. They're on the home side. They will have the bulk of the fans behind them should it go to a spot kick drama. Here's Weaver. Van Hecker. And Solly March. Off to Webster. Game being played at walking pace now. Ryan Gruder. March. More guile than pace around Solly March in the wide position. But he's gone beyond his man. There's a lovely run by Solly March. The cross might well have just deflected away and out of the path of João Pedro. He's battling hard for it and drew the foul.
It's not what he needed, that, João Pedro. Having to turn up the pace. He's felt the effects of it as well.
Suckered Cher into giving away the foul.
This is the Tonali effort a couple of minutes ago. Weaver doing brilliantly to get out and make the block. Caught that sweetly.
There's some really commendable individual performances. Not a commendable passing game. And they've just instructed Danny Welbeck, he's not to play a part in passing this free kick in. I think Newcastle are saying they're wasting time. Danny Welbeck has stayed there in position. He wants instructions here from the set-piece expert. The set-piece coach, I should say. Here's Gomez. Looking around the back, Hinshaw was there. He's good in the air, Hinshaw at set-pieces, but not on that occasion. Newcastle cleared away. Wouldn't bounce for them. And Diego Gomez was there. Bruno Guimaraes came across. Newcastle take the throw in quickly. Brighton still have enough yellow shirts back to deal with it. Here's Joe Willock. Gone beyond one of them. Goes beyond March. Lovely run here by Willock. Can he set up a winner? Checks back to his right foot. Lays it off for Tonali. One more pass brings Jacob Murphy into play. Newcastle are building here. Tonali leaves it for Willock. And the cross is blocked by Weaver. They really got too tight. What a lovely ball. Tonali in here for Newcastle. Van Hecker's clearance ricochets off Wilson's face. Then it's Webster going to ground. Gruder taps it out, but there's a black and white shirt there, and the pressure is back on Brighton again.
Again, Tonali at the heart of it. He's been excellent all game.
Here he is, Tonali, out wide to Jacob Murphy. Goes to bend it in, a tired Webster boot blocks it, Tonali. Does well, it comes off the goalkeeper. And it came off Wilson and it could have gone anywhere. Some of them can barely walk, let alone put in a challenge. João Pedro. Ruda giving chase just to give Dubravka something to think about. João Pedro wins that. Ruda turns out to find the spaces on the right-hand side. Solly March has Diego Gomez out there. Plays in here to Danny Welbeck to win it for Brighton and Hove Albion. And Newcastle United look for a flag. Off the bench, the old hand amongst the young pups of Brighton and Hove Albion sends those fans into utter delirium. And he's put them within reach of the quarter-final.
Well, Danny Welbeck has already scored a winner here this year in the Premier League. Lightning may well be striking twice. They're patient, Brighton, on the counter. He opens up down that right-hand side. And how cool is he, Danny Welbeck? He stays on side because Tino Livramento plays him on. Dubravka's really quickly out to his feet, but he's aware of that and he lifts it over the top of him. Clever finish from Danny Welbeck. Minutes remaining. It looks like he's going to be the match winner again. What a fabulous goal. Well found. Livramento plays him onside. He lifts it over the goalkeeper brilliantly.
Scored an exquisite goal against Bournemouth in the week to win it for Brighton in the Premier League. He's applauding the pass into him. And that's another exquisite finish from him. Different. The one against Bournemouth was almost passed into the back of the net. That's such a lovely finish.
Brilliant. And João Pedro's been on one leg, hasn't he? Done well to get through the game. Well, those travelling fans, all 1,200 of them, it's a long way home, but they'll be enjoying it if it stays this way.
Long way home and school tomorrow first thing for a couple of those. Can Newcastle yet hit back? You wouldn't rule it out in what has been a fascinating FA Cup fifth round tie.
You definitely wouldn't rule it out. We've had pretty much everything, haven't we?
Tonali.
21 attempts from Brighton. Only 5 of them on target, though.
Here's Tonali back to Dan Burn. This will hurt him. Guimaraes. Oh, clever turn in there by Willett. And Van Hecke stood up to the challenge. Been terrific all season. Willett digging in deep, though. Ryan trying to force the throw off him. Still in play. March clears it up. And the pressure will still come back on Brighton with just over 4 minutes to go.
There's going to be a bit added on to that as well.
Brighton fans, you can hear them singing now. Now target. Joe Willett to Bruno Guimaraes. Would it have made a difference had he started? Guimaraes has it. Now target. Callum Wilson's in the middle. Good block there by Ruda, who's done well since coming on. Tracking back. It's not really his forte. Dan Burn. High lob, percentage ball. Wilson's at the back. Well defended again. This time by Webster. Celebrates as if he scored a winning goal. He's not quite there yet.
Harper-Bruder's been so good at coming off his line. Thought he might come again, but took no chances. Stayed on his line.
Tension and nerves. They thought they'd be going to Wembley twice. They may yet be. And it comes towards the goalkeeper who punches it away. Looking for a second ball chance. Tonali. Dan Burn drills it!
Just needs a touch. So many bodies rushing in towards the goal. He catches it really sweetly, Dan Burn. Strikes it cleanly. Callum Wilson's the closest and the most alert, but he can't quite get the finishing touch on it.
Would have been his first goal in 13 months, and of the 22 would have scored in his career, that perhaps would have been the most precious for Dan Burn. Here's João Pedro. Weaver chips forward. Welbeck closes down there and wins it back initially against Murphy and then fouls him.
He's a bit unlucky there, Danny Welbeck, but I think he might have just kicked through Murphy to get to the ball.
At target now for Newcastle. A clamour for urgency from the fans. Looks for the run of Willett. How strong has Van Hecker been?
Brilliant. Not only that, he's won the ball, but he's also kicked it off Willett. So he's won the throw as well.
Hasn't quite got back to his best after that long Achilles problem he had. Well, they've had some travels in the last couple of seasons out to Amsterdam and Rome, Marseille, Athens. I remember those European trips with great fondness. Inchwood away. And now Murphy from the deep. We enter the last minute of extra time. The lead is fragile. Guimaraes. Weaver steps out. He's done well since he came on. Guimaraes will want to drop his shoulder and go wide of him though. Big chance for Burn at the far post, couldn't climb enough. Tonali misplaced it, Van Hecker comes to claim, got there, was fouled. Tell you what, he put his body on the line there for his club. Was caught by Cher.
Brilliant again from Van Hecker, read the situation well. Nicks ahead of Fabian Cher. Wins the free kick and time is running out.
Club this size needs to be in Europe. They're so unlucky in the Champions League last time round. Ooh, they think they're going out of the FA Cup this time around though. But we still have 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of extra time to play. There's still enough time for a couple of big Newcastle attacks. Can Brighton hold on? Welbeck foraging. João Pedro can hardly move. It's been like that for what, half an hour, Matt?
They've had to dig really deep, haven't they? And João Pedro amongst them, as you say, on one leg pretty much for the last 35 minutes.
Bruno Guimaraes looks for Willock, bending it.
And he knows that time is not his friend, Eddie Howe. They're in one cup final, but it looks like another is going to evade them.
Tricky games coming up in the Premier League for them. After West Ham and the League Cup final, at the moment they won't be in the FA Cup 6th round, they have Brentford at home. Anthony Gordon would then miss that if they go out here. Then they've got Leicester away and Manchester United at home. You need to put on the points to stay in contention for Europe through the league. And the League Cup would get them into the Conference League. They've got 30 seconds and more to do it. Out by Hinshelwood. He's been steady Eddie at the back for Brighton. Tonali to run it out. And time is running out.
Now or never.
Livramento. Murphy. Diego Gomez is there with him. High, tempting, keeper will drop on it. And Brighton are very, very close to the quarter-final.
Yeah, that'll be it. Brilliant again from Verbruggen. They've worked incredibly hard for this. And it looks like they're going to see it through. Semi-finalists twice in the last 6 years. Looks like the quarter-final is beckoning.
2 quarter-finals in 112 years, now 4 in 7 for Brighton. As yet again, Danny Welbeck, the evergreen Danny Welbeck, has scored a huge goal for them after Isak had put Newcastle ahead from the spot. Minte level just before half-time. in the 90. An extra 45 couldn't separate them, but Danny Welbeck has. A memorable winner, a memorable day for